Hello, my friend. Welcome to your practice. My name's Sophie, and we are moving through a full-length intermediate level Vinyasa flow today. And the focus is on core strength. Now, the core is not just our front abdominal muscles, it's so much more. It's the front, the sides, and the back. Your whole torso really is your core, and the deep inner core muscles are really important to activate, which we do in every yoga class, and we will especially focus on that today. And this will be a full body focused strength and flexibility flow. So we will get started in a seated position, and I'm going to come to a cross-legged position, but you really can do whatever you want, as long as you're comfortable. Then sit nice and tall. Soften your shoulders. Close your eyes if it feels comfortable. You can let your hands just rest on your knees or your thighs. And on your next inhale, feel how the belly expands, because that's the diaphragm expanding like a balloon. And exhale, it deflates back down. Inhale, there's an expansion through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Again, inhale, feel that expansion. Exhale, draw it in. On your next inhale, just visualize the breath moving forward out the front of your torso, just a couple inches. And exhale, the breath draws back into the midline, into the spine. Inhale, visualize the breath move a couple inches forward. Your awareness moves forward. Exhale, breath draws back in towards the spine. Now, as you inhale, visualize the breath moving out of the sides of your torso, out of the waist. Exhale, right back to center. Inhale, it expands out. Exhale, it comes back in. On your next inhale, visualize breath moving out of the back body. Exhale, draws back into the spine. Once more like that. Inhale, the breath moves out of your lower back. Exhale, the breath draws back into the midline. On your next inhale, the breath moves out in all four directions. Exhale, everything comes back into the center. Inhale, it moves out like an orb around your body. Exhale, the breath moves right back into midline. One more time. Inhale, visualize the breath expanding. Exhale, back in. And now let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Let go of the visualization. Just observe how you feel right now, without judgment. And start to blink your eyes open and reach your arms up to the sky. Then take your arms into a cactus shape or a goalpost shape. Twist to your right. Keep your arms up and notice right now we're using mobility and deep inner core muscles to twist. We'll set the right fingertips down behind us on the ground. Keep your spine long and notice how with the fingertips down now you can twist a little bit more because now we're using more leverage. Let the breath be smooth and even. On the next inhale, both arms come back up. Exhale, twist to your left. So you still have goalpost. Now take your left fingertips behind you on the ground. And every time you exhale, you're twisting a little bit more to the left. On your inhale, arms come back to cactus. Exhale, arms release down. Make your way into tabletop. And from table, drop the belly, lift the chest for cow. Round your spine for cat, chin comes in. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Tuck your toes. Inhale, cow. On exhale, cat, but then bear pose. So lift your knees an inch off the ground, but keep cat with your spine. Now set your knees down, come back into cow. Exhale, round for cat, lift your knees an inch off the ground. Knees down, open the heart, one more time. Exhale, round, and lift your knees an inch off the ground. Now, keep your knees, and really just an inch off the ground, so not any higher. Make your spine neutral, like you're in tabletop. And lift your right foot up off the ground. Bring your heel to your glute, and set your right foot back down. Kick your left heel to your left glute. Keep your right knee an inch off the ground. Can you shift your weight a little further forward? And then set your foot down. Now bring your right knee to right upper arm and extend it, or bring your foot back down. And left knee to left upper arm. Bring your foot back down. Downward facing dog. Ooh, right into it. Full breath in. And settle on your exhale. Take a few breaths here or some movement. Take a few deep belly breaths here, just like we did in the beginning where we expanded the diaphragm. So as you inhale, feel the belly fill. Exhale, it deflates like a balloon. One more time, full belly breath. And release. Walk your feet up to your hands. Take little baby steps. And ragdoll. Switch the grip of your arms to the other elbow, or the other arm is in front. Still holding on to the elbows. You might bounce or sway. And then release your hands down to the ground. And bring your feet to hip distance. And put your hands onto your onto your shins for half lift. Shift your weight into your toes. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Grab the backs of your ankles. So now inhale, slide your hands up the front of your shins, right below your knees for a half lift. Exhale, fold. Grab the backs of your ankles. One more time. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart. Arms down by your sides. Spread your toes. Make sure they're facing forward. Stand tall. And on your inhale, reach your arms up and lift your heels up at the same time. Stay here. Keep your heels lifted. Start to fold forward slowly. So it's going to be a lot slower than usual. Try to keep the heels lifted. Then set your heels down once you reach the ground. Lift up halfway. Step back into plank. Take a moment to shift front to back. Notice if you can feel a stretch in your calves. I just went mountain biking before this, so I can definitely feel that in my calves a lot. Now lower the knees down to the ground and lift your feet up. Then shift forward a little bit and lower down halfway for a modified chaturanga. Notice how with your knees down, you kind of can feel your core a lot more here. Then rise back up. And again, lower it down. And lift it back up. One last time. Lower down. Hold here. Come all the way down to the ground. And lift your chest up off the ground and reach your arms back towards the back of the mat. Keep your feet down and anchor your tailbone towards the heels. And reach your arms straight forward and then lift your legs up. Then bring your arms into cactus. This is great back strength here, back strengthening. And set your hands underneath your shoulders and lift up for cobra, so you can put your feet down and peel your chest up. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and breath out. Make your way to the front of the mat again. Step or hop. Lift up halfway, fold forward. Inhale, stand, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Arms down by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up and lift your heels up. Stay here for a couple breaths. Lift really high on the heels. Let's dive forward, keeping the heels lifted to the best of your ability. Good. Hands go down. Feet go down. Lift up halfway. Plant the hands. Step back to plank. And lower all the way down to the ground. You can use your knees or not use your knees, but go slow. Untuck your toes. Take your arms back again and lift your chest up. Now lift your legs up also. Reach your arms forward, Superman. Take your arms into cactus and lift a little higher with your chest, but can you keep your tailbone anchored towards your heels? So like press the hip bones into the ground. Slide your hands underneath your elbows, plant your hands down, and upward facing dog. So lift your chest and the knees and hips are lifted. And downward facing dog. Breath in, and breath out. Look towards the front of the mat. Step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, stand, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. And arms down by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms up and lift your heels up. Same thing. Exhale, start to fold forward. Take your time here, keep breathing. Once your hands get down to the ground, keep your heels lifted and bend your knees and round and curl in your upper back. Bring your forehead down towards your knees. Your heels are still lifted up. It's like you're in a little ball. Then set your knees down on the ground and sit up for toes pose. Sit upright. And then rise up and reach your arms up. Then so you're like standing on your knees. Then take your right arm back behind you as you twist right. And then bring your arms forward and up. Inhale. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, reach the arms up. Grab onto your left wrist. Take a side bend to the right. Come back to center. Grab onto right wrist. Take side bend to the left. Rise back up to center. Extend the arms up. Sit back on your heels. Then lift your knees up. Bring your hands down and your forehead towards your knees. And then forward fold, heels down. Lift up halfway. Then plant the hands and step or hop back to plank. Totally fine to land in plank. It's totally safe for the shoulders. Then lower down halfway for chaturanga. Use your knees if you want and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. Look forward, step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, bend your knees, the arms sweep up. We're gonna hold, we're building that tapas. A translation of tapas that I really like is the willingness to endure intensity for the sake of transformation. Couple more breaths. Inhale, forward fold, exhale, nice job. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step your left leg all the way back into low lunge. Now, plant your left hand down and lift your right arm up. Reach your right arm over your ear towards the front of the room. Squeeze your hips together. Draw your left shoulder down and back. Twist a little more. Then reach your right arm back up. Bring your right hand down to the ground. Set your back knee down. Reach the arms all the way up to Anjaneyasana. Then straighten your right leg. We're going to half splits, but see if you can float the arms back instead of putting the hands down. Flex the right foot. Option to interlace your hands. And keeping your hands interlaced, come into low lunge. And if you don't have your hands interlaced, you could reach them up. Then we'll go back to half splits. You lean forward a little bit as you draw your right hip back. Again, shift forward and shift back. Keep reaching the arms up and back. Good. Then shift forward and reach the arms up if they're not already there. Tuck your left toes. Lift your back knee into high lunge. Take your arms back behind you into airplane as you shift forward like you're going to go into warrior 3, but then lift your right heel. Put your right heel down and reach the arms up. Open to warrior 2. Straighten your right leg and go back to warrior 2. Reach forward, put your right hand down inside of your right foot for side angle, and reach your left arm towards the front of the room, or you can keep it straight up. So if it's over your ear, then the arm is straight and towards the front. Anchor back into the outer left foot. Rise back up to warrior 2. Straighten your right leg, Trikonasana, triangle pose, right hand down, and left arm up. I like to put the hand on the shin. It's not necessary to try to put the hand onto the ground. So that way you can really keep the length and the lift. Look down at the ground. Make your way into low lunge by just planting the fingertips down and bending the front knee. Plant down onto your outer left hand, and onto your left hand, and your right arm up. And then roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. So you're coming into funky lizard, and you'll probably slide your right foot back a little bit. Now step your right foot on top of your left foot for side plank. Reach your right arm over your ear. And either stay here or bring your right elbow to right knee. This is major core strength here. Obliques. See if you can hold it here for 3, 2, 1. Re-extend. Put your foot down. Come into plank. And lower down halfway for chaturanga, or skip it if you'd like. Upward facing dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Breath in. And out. Look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Halfway lift and fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Let's build that tapas, that heat. Tapas translates to heat, intensity, and it's for the sake of transformation. That's why we're here. One more breath, inhale, forward fold, exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, step your right leg all the way back to low lunge. Plant the right hand down. Lift the left arm up. And take the left arm over your ear. Firm up your back thigh. Spread your toes on your left foot. And bring your hand, let's bring your left arm back up to the sky and then bring the hand to the ground. Put your right knee down. Sweep your arms up for Anjaneyasana. Press your hips forward, but not too far forward. So it's a forward press and then a squeezing in and a slight lift. Inhale, shift it back to half splits on your exhale. Now take a couple of breaths here as you roll the shoulder blades down your back and draw your left hip back. Option to interlace your hands, do the opposite thumb on top from what you did before. And then come back to your lunge, maybe keeping the hands interlaced. And we'll shift it back to half splits. And shift forward to lunge. One more time. Shift it back. And shift forward to lunge. And reach the arms up to the sky. Lift your back knee up right into high lunge. And take your arms back into airplane as you shift forward and firm your right thigh. An option to lift your left heel. Find your focus, find your breath. Left heel down as you reach your arms up. Warrior two. Straighten your left leg. We'll just give that leg a break. Then go right back to warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Reach forward, put your left hand down, right arm up, and then right arm, option, take right arm over the ear. Think about wrapping your outer left thigh flesh underneath of you towards the side of the mat that you're facing. Let's take one more full breath. Then rise up to warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Let's go into Trikonasana for triangle pose. Your hips stay anchored where they are, the top hip slightly facing down as you rotate open with your chest. Look down at the ground. Make your way into low lunge. Press down into your right hand. Reach your left arm up as you roll onto the outer edges of both feet, and you're really gonna have to slide your left foot to the left and down the mat a little bit. Funky lizard. Step your left foot on top of your right foot for side plank. Reach your left arm over your ear. And then option to bring your knee and elbow towards each other like a crunch and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Re-extend. Come into plank. Option to lower down and flow through your chaturanga and up dog. Make your way into your back bend and downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Shift forward into plank and lower your knees to an inch off the ground as you shift your hips back. So it's like you're sitting back towards your heels. Then lift your hips back up to the sky for down dog. We're doing some spinal rolls. So now round through your upper back like you're doing cat. Roll into plank. Let your knees come down an inch off the ground. Shift back. Lift your hips. Round through the upper back, roll into plank. Knees come down. Okay, now you're getting it. Keep going on your own. Now that we've done it a few times, rolling the spine. Let's do one more time. We'll land back in down dog. Walk your hands to the back of the mat. And gorilla pose, step onto the hands. So come onto the backs of the hands as you slide them underneath your feet. And get your toes all the way up to your wrists. And release your hands down. Walk your hands all the way back out to plank. All right, we've got a fun little creative sequence coming. So lift your left leg off of the ground, so you're in a one-legged plank. Now bend your knee so that the toes are pointing to the sky, and roll over the right side body to come into wild thing. So lift your hips up, your right leg is straight, your left knee is bent, your chest starting to face up to the sky a little bit more. We're going to sit down onto the hips and face the back of the mat. So sit all the way down. Now you're facing the back of the mat, and even if you can't see me, just listen carefully. Reach your arms up. Your left knee is bent, foot down, your right leg is straight, and reach forward and grab onto your right foot for Vinyasa, sage pose, and fold. Hug your left knee in towards your left shoulder. Now, start to rise up, reach your arms up, and bring your hands down to the ground. We're going to basically step our way right into pyramid pose. So put your hands down by your sides, lift your hips up, bend through both knees as you start to shift forward, almost like you're walking, and then forward fold and your legs straighten, and that should land you right into pyramid. Turn your left toes to the left a little bit. And you might not be fully on your mat. I'm definitely like off of my mat. That's okay. Lengthen and fold over your right leg. Do it again. Lengthen the spine a lot. Draw the right hip back. Exhale, fold over right leg. Once more, inhale. Exhale. Take a couple breaths in your fold. Just breathing into the potency of this shape, of this moment. Pure and still. And lift up halfway. Turn your left toes to face the back of the mat again. So just both of your feet are facing the same direction. Lift your left heel. And we'll sit back down the way we came. Go really slow. So yes, your left knee is starting to come down way in front of your left foot, and your right leg is straightening, and we're sitting all the way down. So we're really playing with our mobility, our ankle mobility, and seeing where we can hold ourselves. And if it didn't work out that well, it's okay. Slide your left foot forward a little bit so it's not really close to you. Sit tall. And take your arms into cactus, just like we did in the beginning of class. Start to twist to your left. And extend your arms out wide. So it's like we're doing an open arm twist. And it takes a lot more effort to twist here when we're not using our arms for leverage. Notice if you're getting deeper and deeper every exhale. That's the goal. Now you can set your left fingertips behind you, hook your right elbow, and enjoy the twist. Keep your right foot flexed. One more breath. And come back to center if you're still facing the back of your mat. Plant your right hand down behind you. We're going to come back into a wild thing. Lift your hips up. Wild thing. Now lift your left leg up in kind of like we're in a side plank, but your left leg is lifted high, and then put your left hand onto your left knee. This is all optional. You could also just be in a regular side plank or a modified side plank. Now lift your left arm back up. Can you step to lizard? Left foot all the way to the outer edge of the mat. Hands down to the ground. Back knee down. Option to put your forearms down. Option to twist to the left, or maybe even bend the knee and grab onto the foot for a quad stretch. As long as you're not sinking into your right shoulder. And release your foot down. Bring your hands down and come back up onto your hands. Lift your back knee. Step back into plank. Okay, here we go again. Lift your right leg up. Bend your right knee so the toes point to the sky. Slowly roll onto the left side for a wild thing. And I'm intentionally making this a little bit slower today of a practice so that we have to hold and build stability and strength. Slower doesn't mean it's easier by any means. In fact, it makes it harder. So you're still in wild thing and your chest is turning to the sky. And we'll sit all the way down slowly to face the back of the mat. Here we are. Now sit tall. Reach your hands towards your left foot. Can you grab onto the foot? Hug your right knee in towards the body. And this is one of those poses where you can round through your upper back. And you will round through your whole back, in fact. Let your head relax. Slowly rise back up. Put your hands down by your sides. Now you know where we're going. We're going into our pyramid pose, standing folding. So start to lift your hips and lean forward and forward fold. Turn your right toes out to the right a little bit as you straighten both legs. Lift and lengthen the spine and fold over your left leg. Again, lift up, inhale, exhale, fold. Press into your left big toe mound. Again, inhale, exhale. Take a few breaths. Lift up halfway. Right toes are pointing straight forward now. Start to bend your knees. You're softening through those knees. Get slack and sit all the way back slowly into your seat. Slide your right foot forward a little bit so you're not, your knee isn't super tucked in towards you. Take your arms into cactus and twist to your right. Sit taller. Extend your arms out wide. Now set your right fingertips behind you and hook your left elbow. So we twist more. And come back to center. Plant your left hand behind you, lift your right arm up. Lift up through wild thing. Now we'll come through our side plank, option to lift the right knee up to the sky. You can keep your knee bent. Just a variation of side plank. Right hand on right knee. Reach the right arm up again. And step your right foot all the way to the front right side of the mat for lizard. Hands down, left knee down, forearms down. And an option to twist to the right. Maybe grab your foot for a quad stretch. And release your hands down. Come back up onto the palms. Lift your back knee. Step back into plank. Downward facing dog. Set your knees down. Walk your hands forward for puppy pose. You can put your forehead or your chin down. Make your way back into table. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Feet together, right leg lifts. Inhale. Exhale, bring your knee to your right upper arm. I know, stay with me. Keep it there. Bring your knee down towards your right elbow. Slide it back up to the upper arm. Bring your knee to the left upper arm. Slide it down the elbow. Back up to the left upper arm. Back to the right upper arm. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, low lunge. Take your arms out wide, like airplane arms. Your spine is in a half lift. And bring your hands back down. And take your arms back behind you into airplane. And bring your hands back down. Lastly, we'll take the arms straight forward like we're in Warrior 3. We'll keep the arms straight forward as we rise up to high lunge. Bring the hands to heart. Twist to your right, hook your left elbow. And firm, lift your back leg. If you have any variations you like to take here, you're welcome to. Come back to center, high lunge. One-legged mountain. Stand tall on your right leg with your left leg lifted. With your right hand, place your right hand on your outer left knee and take your left arm behind you to twist. Option to grab onto the outer left foot and extend the leg forward. Revolved hand to big toe. We're going to make our way to revolved half moon facing the right side. So release your left leg. Spin around to face the right as you take your left leg behind you. Left fingertips down, right arm up. Set the left foot down onto the ground so you're in a revolved triangle. So you'll have to maybe shift around a little bit. Really spreading the toes on the right foot, pressing down into the right big toe mound and anchoring the right hip back, and then expanding and lifting from the chest. And bring your hands back down to the ground. Shift forward, come into standing splits. We'll lift that left leg as high as you can. And then flex the left foot, anchor the right hip back so that the hips are squared. So the leg will not be as high as it can go now. Just see how that feels for you. Slowly step back to low lunge. Plant your hands, step back to one-legged plank. Come up onto your left fingertips. Reach your left arm forward. An option to bring your elbow and knee together. So you kind of can see the theme here today. Hold. Extend it all back out. Set your hand and foot down onto the ground. And if you'd like to flow through Vinyasa, you're welcome to. I'm choosing to take the knees because that was a lot of hard stuff. And we all make our way back to down dog. Full breath in and out. Lift your left leg all the way up. Inhale. Exhale, bring your knee to your left upper arm. Hold. And bring the knee down towards the left wrist. Back up to the upper arm. Bring your knee to the right. Down towards the right wrist. And back up to the upper arm. Knee to the left. Hold. Three-legged dog. Inhale. Exhale, step your foot between your hands for low lunge. Strong back, so you can take your arms, and strong legs, so you can take your arms out wide. And down. Now the arms straight back behind. And down. The arms straight forward. Hold. Rise up to high lunge. Hands to heart. Prayer twist to the left. Any variation that you need to do or want to do, feel free. Come back slowly to high lunge. One-legged mountain. We'll twist to the right, left hand on right knee, right arm back. Option 2, grab onto the outer edge of the foot and extend the leg. We'll make our way to revolved half moon facing the left. So right leg goes back behind, right hand goes down, left arm goes up. Let's keep your left arm up, step to triangle, twist, revolved triangle. So right heel down. Any adjustments you need to make to feel okay here, you can. Bring your hands down. Standing splits. Lift your right leg up. And for today, square your hips, flex your right foot, and take the left hip back as the right toes. So look at your right foot. You want to have your right pinky toe facing down. That helps square the hips. And just because this is a great stretch in the outer left leg, which is why we're taking this version today. Now slowly step back to low lunge. Plant your hands, step back to one-legged plank. Come up onto your right fingertips, reach your right arm forward, awkward plank. And if this isn't hard enough, let's bring the elbow and knee together and hold for 3, 2, 1. Extend it back out, set your hand and foot down, and again, flow through. Down dog. And then child's pose. Soften down. Finally, settle into your child's pose nest. And slowly rise on up. Make your way to the front middle of your mat, somewhere between the front and middle. Take your knees wide. We're going into Virasana. So take your, put your hands onto your calves and pull your calves out and sit down. Or maybe it's called Vajrasana. I'm blanking right now. Is it Virasana or Vajrasana? Anyways, you're sitting down between your heels and kind of tuck your feet in towards you. Now, if you have any pain in your knee, I recommend not doing this because it's never worth it to hurt yourself in yoga. We want to feel good. But if you're okay here, you can stay. And you can do elephant walks on your feet. Should feel nice on the feet. Give the feet some love. If this does hurt your knees, there's been times in my life where my knee doesn't like this, when I've had injuries, and so I just avoid it. Right now I'm okay, so I'm teaching it to you, but please listen to your body. Please, please. Now bring your hands behind you if you want to go a little further. Okay, and you know your limits, so decide what your limits are. And then if you want to go further than this, you put your forearms down. And maybe you go all the way down onto your back. And then knit your ribs in a little bit. Take your arms overhead if you want. I'm just taking about 3 deep breaths here. Close the eyes. Can you find a sense of ease and softness in the breath, even though this might feel like really intense? finding that calm in the midst of chaos. We'll come back out of it the way we came in. Forearms, hands. Slowly shift forward, come into tabletop. Tuck your toes under. Bring your heels together and take your knees wide and round in your upper back as you walk your hands down. I have no idea what this is called or what to call this. And then we'll rise on up and bring the knees together. We've been doing a lot of twists and core work today, so let's do some side crow, yeah? So lift your heels up in your little squat. Take your arms over to the right. So twist to your right, and you can make a shelf on your elbow, on your thigh, and on your knee. That's the first way to do it. The second way to do it, a little harder, is you're going to make a shelf with only your left elbow. Plant your hands down. Hike yourself up wherever you are, however you're doing it, and lift onto your shelf as you look forward and lift your legs up and spin around. If you're on the one elbow, you're spinning around to the left side. Then come back down. And we'll do the other side. Start to twist to your left. Hook your right elbow over and make a shelf with either both elbows or one elbow. Plant your hands, hike your knees up, and fly. Hike your hips up onto your arms is what I meant to say. And when you've had enough, come back down and sit all the way down. And take your legs out and shake it out. Shake out those legs. Shake out the hands. And we'll take the legs wide. Wide-legged fold. So take the legs as wide as you can. Bring your hands behind you. Shift your hips forward a little bit. Flex your feet. A lot of people are going to stay here. This might serve you better. If you find that when you go to fold, you're rounding your upper back, then stay here. Otherwise, if you can keep the length of your low back as you start to lean forward, then you can go further. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. And slowly rise up. Keep your legs wide. Bring your right forearm down inside of your left leg and take your left forearm up and over. Rise back up. Other side, left forearm down, right arm up and over. Side bend. And rise back up. Take your legs straight out in front of you. Bring your feet to the front edge of your mat. Take your arms out wide or out in front of you and lower down without lifting your heels up. So it's like you're rolling down from your lower back to your upper back. And then take your knees into your chest, rock side to side. And take your legs straight up to the sky. You might have noticed that in this core focus class, we haven't done any sit-ups or leg lifts. And that's because core strength really does come. The deep inner core strength comes from doing those planks and side planks. And that's really stability. That's true stability there. So bring your hands behind your head. And lower your right leg down. The heel drops just an inch off the ground. Now lift your chest up, twist to your right, and extend your right arm over to the left side. So we're still building stability here. Now targeting a little bit more of those front abdominal muscles. Hold. Start to feel that shake. And lower back down with your head, but lift your right leg up. Lower the left leg down to hover off of the ground. Lift your chest up. Twist to your right. Extend your left arm over to the right. Hold. Breathe. Release your head down, reach your legs back up to the sky. Keep your hands interlaced behind your head. Can you lower your legs down to hover off the ground while pressing your low back into the ground? Keep pressing, keep pressing. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Release your feet down. Extend your arms overhead. Take a full body stretch. Bend your knees now. Take your feet wide, like wider than your mat, and drop your knees towards each other. Maybe your knees touch, but it doesn't matter. It's just to feel a stretch on the outer parts of your legs, outer parts of your hips, the adductor muscles. Drop your knees over to the right, like a windshield wiper. And then switch, drop your knees to the left and right and left. And bring the knees back up and bring the feet towards each other and cross your right ankle over your left thigh for figure 4. And either lift your left foot up and you can grab onto the shin or the back of the leg for a figure 4 stretch. Or you can hold onto your right leg in supine pigeon and extend your left leg long to the ground. This is a little bit of a deeper stretch. And if you just simply shift your right leg to the left a little bit, you'll feel it even more down into the outer right hip. Let's really slow down the breath here. And we'll make our way back through figure 4 and release the legs and switch sides. So do your thing on second side. And then back through figure 4. Release the legs down and feet together, knees wide for Supta Baddha Konasana. You can take your arms overhead and grab onto your wrists or elbows. Feel the slow pull of the breath in through the nose as the belly rises. And the sweet release of the exhale. A sense of arrival. Here I am. Here we are. And the more we practice yoga, the more the practice becomes a coming home, a coming back into ourselves. And bring the knees up slowly. Extend your legs long for Shavasana. Release your arms by your sides. And if you can slide your shoulder blades together a little bit so that you can just release your back to the ground with comfort and ease. Find complete and total stillness. I'll guide you back in just a few moments. Begin to bring awareness back into your body and touch your thumb tip to each fingertip. Extend your arms overhead if it feels good to take a full body stretch. Bend your knees. Roll to one side. And press up to a seat. Thank you so much for sticking with me through this full-length class. I had such a blast teaching and practicing with you. If you enjoyed the class, let me know below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Let's bring our palms together to end this practice. And we'll simply bow together in gratitude for this practice, for this experience. Thank you.